Honorable Tau Hinari.
Me tutei anai tako mihi kia koutou ngā mōrehu o ngā itua te tauihu ngaitahu hauraki. Mr. Speaker, I want to take a couple of minutes and look at the settlement in my own particular way. And going back to front, as some people accuse me of doing ever so often, sir, I want to say that this settlement, the agreement between Crown and iwi, is the result of, sir, some detailed background work over a very long period by, among other people, Te Hukai Moana, Te Tauihu and Hauraki, and to also industry people to put together and develop a viable model for various types of aquaculture and enterprise, sir. Sir, this was developed to assist iwi to understand the business of aquaculture, and so that they were informed that what might be required whenever there was new space, sir, but could also be used to estimate value of space based on real productivity. Sir, it was also a wish by the government or the Crown to develop a generic methodology to value space across New Zealand, so as to have that agreed for use in the coming years, namely in 2013-2014, sir. So the government and the Crown recognised that there would be no substantive new space because of the moratorium that had been placed upon the industry, sir. Sir, Crown invited iwi to put a proposal to it. All those in South Island, including Te Tauihu, Ngaitahu, and among other people, Hauraki also, agreeing to work together and with Te Hukai Moana put the proposal to government, sir. So government applied this methodology and then engaged with Te Hukai Moana, iwi advisors, on the assumptions and the parameters of a deal. Sir, Te Hukai Moana and iwi advisors compiled a robust, and I must say a very robust proposal based on the range of methods to ensure some pragmatic answers that made sense as a whole and were internally consistent. And it also meant that for allocation purposes among tribes without contest between each other. And I think that's really the big tick in this whole process, is that for years and years and years, whenever there has been anything to do with powers, crayfish, fish, whatever lives in the ocean, there's always been an element of toing and froing backwards and forth from the court, trying to get the court to decide, litigation, sir. So I want to take my hat off to not so much the government, but the people out there who were put behind the 8 ball by the moratorium first and foremost. Because what that did, sir, was stop any development. It stopped any of the iwi. Stopped any of the iwi. And also the other people in the industry, non-iwi, non-Maori, from actually working through an industry which I think holds the key to one part of this country's economic development too. So I want to put that out there now. Congratulate Ngaitahu, Te Tauihu and Hauraki and Te Hukai Moana for their job in coming up with a robust proposal, and congratulate the Crown for accepting that in a way there had to be a resolution. There had to be a pathway where people could move on, but also use that process for the development of the industry. Sir, I think when you look back on as far back as 1990 in the Sea Lords deal. This settlement between iwi and the Crown heralds a new era of cooperation, in particular when it comes to what's in the water. The cooperation I talk about, sir, is not only iwi and the Crown, but also iwi and iwi, and iwi and iwi and organisations like Te Hukai Moana, who I have to say, even I have railed against over certain issues over the last seems like forever. Sir, I want to take my hat off to the Minister of Fisheries, the former Minister of Fisheries, because I think that he did a sterling job in trying to bring this settlement to fruition. So I also want to say congratulations to my colleagues on the Maori Affairs Select Committee, who I also think did a sterling job and a very, very quick job. When we were faced with the submissions, we had no questions, we had no worries, and we felt that it was our duty to return the settlement bill to the House as soon as possible. So there are unlimited opportunities here for Maori and for the nation. If there's one thing in the world that the world needs now, and it's not love, there's plenty of that going around, Mr. Speaker, it's food. And food is going to be the gold standard in years to come, sir. And if it's one thing that we do as a nation very, very well, is to produce the food and produce the sustenance that the world is after and the world will be after. So I again take my hat off to the business people, the iwi, that I see are on the cusp of not only their own economic development, but also this nation's economic development, and also feeding the world after they've fed the home people. Sir, I finally want to say that without the settlement, if the settlement hadn't have been signed off, so I think the industry itself would have been in a terrible way. And I don't think we would have been able to secure the opportunities to come that I think that are just around the corner. So it behoves the government also to work extremely hard on developing that industry and making sure that there is a level playing field for everybody, and making sure that the conditions are right so we can take our opportunities around the world. And all we have to do is look at two big nations, China and India, where there are 3-odd billion people that need to be fed. And I know that they can't do it themselves. And with the help of many iwi and businesses around this country, I think we will take our fair share of the business opportunities around the world. Morera, ngā mātua, ngā kaumātua, ngā kuia, anō te mihi, anō te mihara kia koutou katoa. Morera, tēnā koutou katoa.